What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're back in the shop today with the Trailblazer SS. I wanted to do a little bit of an update video. This thing's been missing from the channel. I know quite a few of you like this vehicle. The last time you saw it, it was probably right over here on jack stands. It's been done for a while. I actually took it for a road trip up to New Jersey to see some friends and family. And this weekend, we're actually taking it to the track. I've only ran this when it was stock, so I'm really excited to run this now that it has some stuff done to it. See how it does. So today we have it back in the shop. We're gonna do some, do a little once over, get it ready for the track, do some maintenance, and just make sure everything's tip top for a couple good runs. I'm also trying a little something different. I'm actually filming with my phone today. So bear with me if I'm not looking in the right area. I'm trying to look right at the camera. But, it seems like my camera, I don't know if the microphone is going bad or if it is bad, but the sound, the volume is very distorted compared to other videos that I've seen. So I'm trying on the phone today to see how that comes out. I may get a new camera, or I might just continue filming on the phone. So let me know how it sounds and what you think. All right, so let's start with taking a look at what's done, what's new to the Trailblazer SS. Everything on the exterior is pretty much the same. I did replace the brakes, give them a little, new coating, new paint job there just to look a little bit better. But other than the brakes, everything on the outside of this is exactly the same. So let's go ahead and pop the hood and I will show you what is new. Did get some new LED lights in here, whole lot brighter. All right, so under the hood is where most of the stuff happened, most of the new stuff is. So we have the 4-inch fender well intake there that gets rid of the washer bottle for the windshield washer nozzles. This intake comes with a replacement bottle that kind of goes over here. I didn't like the fit and finish. I didn't like the way it sat. It actually leaked a little bit, so I said screw it. And then we have a set of E-fans. We got rid of the mechanical fan there with the little fancy block off on the water pump there. So those are awesome. And then if you look down here, we have our Speed Engineering long tube 1 7/8 inch headers. And I know it's kind of dirty overall into here, but I really like how the intake, the E-fans, getting rid of the washer bottle just cleans this up a little bit. I know these aren't the prettiest engines to begin with to look at, but this engine bay was really cluttered with the mechanical fan, all this extra stuff. So I think it looks a whole lot better as it is right now. And then if we come down underneath, you can see the headers again. There's the new transmission, nothing special on the outside. It's a stage 3 transmission, I believe. Holds about 500 horsepower, so hopefully we won't need to swap that again anytime soon. And then the exhaust right now I've been messing with, as you see, I have some temporary clamps up there. It was a JBA catback, and I've just been messing with different muffler resonator combinations just to get the sound that I like. And these headers had slip joints here, and I actually ended up putting in V-bands because they were leaking like crazy. And then I just had the center section welded together. So that's a little update of the SS. Not too much, just basic bolt-ons. I do have a cam to put in this eventually. It is not in there right now. Just basically wanted to get this thing back together, and that was kind of a whole nother project that I have to take on. I did get it tuned. It made about 385, I believe, wheel horsepower, which isn't bad for a stock untouched block LS2. So I'm pretty happy with that. Plus, even though I converted it to rear wheel drive, it still has a transfer case, so that soaks up some of the power. If it was a true rear wheel drive, it would probably make, another 5 horsepower or so. So I'm really excited to see how it does at the track. It drives around town great, has good acceleration. When it was stock, I took it to the track a couple times. I think the best I got was a 14.2. I'd have to confirm, look back at my other videos and just double check. But I'm hoping to shave off at least half a second. I know some people put transmissions and higher stall torque converter in here and get mid-13s. So I'm really excited. This also does, I forgot to mention, this does have an FTI 3200 stall. So you can really rev it up nice and get it going. So with all the updates out of the way, we're just gonna go over this thing, check all the fluids. I'm gonna be changing the rear diff fluid. The engine oil and obviously transmission fluid are pretty much brand new. So I'm just gonna check those, make sure everything's good. Those don't need to be changed, but we're just gonna go over this a little bit real quick, make sure it's set, make sure it's ready to go to the track. And yeah, so let's get to it. All right, so first things first, we're gonna check our oil. I've actually been using AMSOIL Signature 0W40. This stuff is awesome. I know this calls for 530. This engine's a little bit older, a little bit more worn, so the extra weight helps it out. This stuff is awesome, and it really quieted the whole engine down. So I definitely highly recommend that. I'll be running that in my Corvette as well. As you should with the Trailblazer SS, I run the oil pass full right up to these squigglies basically. at least 7.5 quarts. I do have the oil pan baffle in this, but just for safety, I run extra still, and especially now that I'm gonna be going to the track, I wanna make sure I have enough oil in there so that we're not, we don't wanna spin any rod bearings or anything. So there you can see the oil. It's pretty much right up to where I want it, so that's perfect. Next, we'll check the transmission fluid. Have to have the motor running in park for that, so I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up real quick. All right, so I just drove this, so it is warm, and we are right at the pretty much, maybe a little bit over the max fill line for hot, so I'll call that good. All right, so engine oil, transmission fluid, they're all set. If we look here, our coolant is good. I actually had a problem. This radiator cap failed on me when I went up to New Jersey. About more than halfway there, I was actually stuck in DC traffic. The temp started creeping way up, ended up pulling off and noticed that this was out of coolant. I was low on coolant, my radiator. So I thought I just didn't fill it up, enough when I was working on it. So I topped it off, made it the rest of the way there. On the way home, did the same thing. Every couple hundred miles, this was overflowing and everything. I thought I had a blown head gasket of some kind. Come to find out, it was a $15 part. The valve in here was stuck and not letting it able to go back and forth between the overflow and the radiator. So that was replaced and that's been fixed. All right, we're underneath for the next part of this video. We are gonna be changing the diff fluid in the rear. Front has been done a while ago. I'm very embarrassed to say the rear diff fluid has not been done under my ownership. Again, very embarrassing, but it is what it is. I had the new gasket here for the differential cover, but luckily this not only has a fill hole, but right under here it also has a drain plug. So since we're not leaking anything around here, we're just gonna go ahead and bypass that and just do a quick drain and refill. Usually with differentials, I do like to remove the cover, just because you can inspect the gears right there and see how everything internally looks. But just for time's sake, I want to go ahead and just do a drain and fill. And then if I see anything, questionable in the oil pan, I'll go ahead and pull the cover. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and drain this and see how it looks. That is definitely some dirty fluid that has seen better days. So far, I don't see any metal pieces, but we'll go ahead and take a look. That is definitely way past due. All right, so we got our new fluid. These new containers are awesome. Don't have to worry about a transfer pump. You just stick those in the fill hole there and squeeze. There's no more mess, no more transfer pump. This stuff is awesome. And with as old as that fluid looked, we might pick up a few extra horsepower. Maybe we'll break 400 horsepower now. Of course I'm joking, but good fluid always helps. And as you can see there, I just wiped that off and you got a slow little bit of trickle there. So that means we are full. That means it's up to the bottom of the fill area here. So that's good. So we'll put our fill plug back in, clean this up a little bit, and we'll be done. All right, so the last thing I want to do today to get this thing ready, besides washing it, of course, poor thing, is I want to tighten up these exhaust clamps a bit. If I already didn't explain, I'm kind of been running through some different combinations here, deciding what I like best. And obviously these clamps are not the best for sealing purposes. So I got some leaks, obviously. So I'm gonna put an impact on there, see if I can snug them down a little bit. But eventually, whatever muffler or resonator I end up going with, I will weld that in. All right, well, we'll see if that did anything. I don't know, those clamps leak regardless, but I just wanted to decrease the leaking a little bit if possible. Again, that's just temporary. Eventually I'll have that all welded in. So let's fire it up, see how it sounds. Tell me what you guys think. If you like the way it sounds, if it's too loud, too raspy, whatever it may be, just give me your input, I'd appreciate it. And then we'll be done and we'll be ready to go to the track. Again, other than a wash, this thing's ready. Let me know what you think about that exhaust. I am still not sure. I didn't think I would have this much trouble deciding on an exhaust or at least a muffler setup for this truck. To me, it sounds a little bit too raspy, a little too clappy. I don't know if that's even a word to describe an exhaust, but I'm not completely sold on it. Again, that's why I have those clamps temporarily, because I may be changing it. I don't mind the volume at all. I like loud exhausts, but they have to sound good. So please tell me, does this sound good? Does it not? Should I try something else? So thanks for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the SS, please give it a thumbs up. I'm glad to have this thing back on the road. Like I said, it went 1,200 plus miles to New Jersey and back. So really like 2,400 miles round trip. It did great other than the radiator cap issue, but drove great, transmission shifts awesome, so I can't wait to get it to the track and see what it does. So stay tuned for that video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing. We'll be going to the track on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that video in about a week or so. Hopefully we get some impressive times. I'm not looking for anything crazy, no 12-second runs or anything like that. I'm realistic. But I'm hoping we can get like mid-13s. So thanks again, everyone, for watching. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day, and I'll see you next time.